I've been an award show fanatic for as long as I can remember, so nights like these never disappoint for me. Today, not exactly perfect weather for a day on the boat, but still warm enough to be on the water if you don't mind some spotty rain. If you're out there, though, stay safe. Both students and administration optimistic about this new dialogue that's opening and the progress that appears to be being made. Of course, time will tell what exact actions are taken. Basically, she can file with a couple different agencies, but what they told her is if she even were to get that refund, it wouldn't come until 2018, and even that is still up in the air. It just seems like one piece of bad news after the other for Alfred Angelo customers. Well, Rod and Christy, I love these nights. So many great questions from you. Of course, we couldn't possibly answer them all at once, so I'll just tackle 3 for you now. First up, remember that class action lawsuit regarding robocalls back in August? Look at this, lightning behind the red, white, and blue New York City skyscrapers. We know you've all got plans for the rest of this long weekend here in central New York, many of them probably outside. So let's get straight to Storm Team meteorologist John DePasquale. John, I think everyone has weather on their mind.
And talk about hard work. Some of those vendors were here until 2:30 in the morning getting things ready. And as somebody who's been to the fair every year for 24 years.
You have?
I have.
Haven't missed one, huh?
I'm a very loyal fan.
$145 million in new capital, so certainly a long road still ahead for the centuries-old company. But Joseph and Remington having pretty high hopes there. So far, so good. It looks like people are keeping a pretty close eye on these parking signs to make sure they're on the correct side at the correct time. A bunch of them actually moving their cars over to the other side of the road in preparation for that 6 o'clock deadline. The Camillus man charged in a February DWI crash that killed 3 college students in the town of Onondaga is out of jail tonight. If you want to avoid slipping and sliding this winter, you've probably thought about buying salt to spread on your sidewalks and driveways. But when it's this cold out and there are so many options, are any of them actually effective? Connection with Allie's egg donor will come from the use of another kit, this one from Ancestry.com. If anyone in her biological family has DNA in the website system, it will match Allie with them and then maybe lead her to the woman with whom she shares so much and yet so little. When that kit comes back, we'll let you know. Started this weekend with heavy rain and flooding, but the quick drop in temperature turned all of that water into this, ice chunks as thick as textbooks. Most you can't even move, flooded roads and driveways, and with a warm-up on the way this coming weekend, people are wondering what to do next. So was your whole yard filled with water?
Oh, yeah.
People like Mary Pedersen, who spent decades living on the water, so often a source of comfort, but this winter, a living nightmare. Was this the worst you've ever seen it?
Yeah, it's the worst. I've been here 40 years, and I never saw it like this before.
Before all of this froze over, the 82-year-old had to be rescued by boat from her front steps.
By the time I got to the firehouse, my coat was soaking wet, my gloves were soaking wet. I had a fireman's blanket over me to keep me warm.
She came home to inches of water in her garage and a car that's a total loss.
They already totaled the car today, and they're coming in the morning to get it.
But she worries it's not over.
It's usually just 2-3 days, and then it's all down, but this time it's going to be something to see it going down, because I don't think it's, if it goes fast, we'll get flooded.
Because when entire yards, roads, and driveways are piled this high with ice, a warm-up on the way could be dangerous, a fact on the mind of Pedersen's son, Darren Smith.
I got my sisters on alert to someone might have to come retrieve her, so, you know, we've got a lot of us in the area, so she's got support.
Support they hope she won't need. In Sylvan Beach, Sydney Chalifoux, News Channel 9. We're about to get on the RC-48 speed coaster. It has not been at the New York State Fair in 3 years, so come on. Okay, so I come to the fair every single year, but I haven't been on a ride here since I was a little kid. So this will be my first roller coaster in a few years. Feeling a little nervous, but I think it'll be exciting. I made it. And it was awesome. Short, too short. All right, so next up we have the Broadway Skyliner. This is the first ever year that this is at the New York State Fair, and we're going to give it a shot, so come on. Thank you. Okay, so that is a perfect ride for somebody who wants something a little slower, a little more low-key. I also, bonus, checked out a lot of good new food places along the route, so win-win. This log flume ride is bringing the big amusement park feel to the State Fair. Not the best day for it, a little chilly, but I'm going to brave it and give it a shot anyway. Oh my God! So, word to the wise, bring an extra pair of shoes. They're soaked. Well, it's been a little bit. My shoes are finally dry, thank goodness. But if that's not your thing, there's plenty of other options here on the Midway. It really just depends what kind of thrill you're looking for. Dan and Christy?
You just be our last platform right here? Yeah. That's very good.
What do you get when you combine thousands of volunteers?
Seeing all kinds of people here, you know, young kids, you know, people that are, you know, parents and grandparents pitching in. It just really, you know, it's a great feeling, good environment.
The desire to help.
It's about giving back to the community, and it's a great place that we live, and we try to do the best we can to give back any chance we can.
And loads of playground equipment purchased by grants.
We noticed that a lot of people were really encouraging park improvements, and the need for an accessible playground came up.
On a typical playground, you might see all of this equipment, but here's the problem. Not every child can use each piece, leaving children with disabilities often unable to play. In Auburn, that's changing, and even the community is getting excited about it.
And just to see some of the equipment that's coming in and some of the, you know, design and thought that went into this build, you know, I think it really makes everybody excited that this is a playground for all people.
It's going to be Auburn's first ADA accessible playground, and it's bringing people together.
We'll load you up, buddy. How's that sound?
Even before they put the final pieces in the ground.
We wanted to help the community. That's healthcare. We like to help people, you know.
It's a great experience.
Yeah, it was fun. Really fun.
In Auburn, Sydney Chalifoux, News Channel 9.